Ever since I watched the first 2 episodes of Mega Man Fully Charged last August, I knew I wanted to review every episode of the series. Sure, it could never possibly live up to the high standards Archie set with its comics, but I still felt that it could succeed on its own terms, as a show featuring a positive role model for young children. Without having a cable subscription, however, I've been at the mercy of Cartoon Network's unlocking schedule. Having to wait for earlier episodes I missed to unlock again didn't help either. Only now have I finally caught enough episodes to move forward with reviews. So let's get this shindig started by establishing some rules. As I mentioned earlier, I'm interested in evaluating Fully Charged on its own terms. As the show's press release stated, it's meant for kids ages 6 to 11 and their parents who may remember enjoying Mega Man. Also, Mega Man himself is supposed to be portrayed as optimistic, inquisitive, and more focused on helping others and understanding adversaries than just locking them up. Given this, I'll be evaluating episodes using 3 criteria. Firstly, is it entertaining? Like the 90s Mega Man cartoon, Fully Charged relies primarily on action and comedy. While I don't expect too many knee slappers in a show meant for whippersnappers, at the very least, I expect some exciting fights between Mega Man and the Robot Masters. After all,
Super fighting robot, Mega Man!
Secondly, is the message strong or useful? Archie Comics' Mega Man faced many inner conflicts, and often managed to learn a little more about himself or life along the way. This show's Mega Man likely won't deal with anything too serious, but the creator's desire to make him a role model means we're going to see some morals and messages for kids. Hopefully, they'll be beneficial while not being too trite. Finally, how's the fan service? Despite its weird stylings, Captain N still managed to throw Mega Man fans some bones, like having Top Man fall to Hard Knuckle. Remember, in addition to children, Fully Charged seeks to draw in parents who know and or enjoy Mega Man as well. This final criterion is a catch-all for Robot Master designs, weapons, music, and anything else evocative of Mega Man's past. Now that the rules are set, it's game on with Mega Man Fully Charged episodes 3 and 4. In Drilling Deep, Mega Man 4's Drill Man makes his series debut and seems a bit peeved about something. Later, Videodrone introduces a whole new Robot Master, the manipulative Hypno Woman.
What makes a hero? Someone who fights for unity. Someone who stands for justice. Someone like Mega Man. Mega Man.
These episodes are both a little rough for opposite reasons. Drilling Deep has an okay message about handling embarrassment, but the setup is weak. After fending off Drill Man and copying his schematic, Aki begins to malfunction, leading to a series of pratfalls and other accidents at school. Aki eventually becomes self-conscious to the point of crushing self-doubt.
My life is ruined. My school career's over. I can't be Mega Man. I can't even be me.
Aki, you're overreacting.
This setup surprised me because up until this moment, I didn't realize how hurt Aki was by his classmates. The bumbling scenes don't emphasize their laughter or focus much on Aki's reactions to it immediately after. Aki's anxiety doesn't feel as relatable as it needs to be for this setup, because we're not given enough to feel what's going on in his head. Look at this classic cutaway scene from The Simpsons. Bart is stared down by looming figures with warped leers bathed in an unearthly light. This is how you successfully convey anxiety-inducing thoughts. The writers may have anticipated this disconnect by having Aki note that he seemed to pick up more from Drillman than just his abilities. Given how Fireman schematics affected Aki's temperament before, this conclusion makes sense, but what comes next doesn't. Mega Man confronts Drillman again and asks him if he's acting up out of embarrassment over something. Why would he assume that? Even if copying Drillman's schematics gave Mega Man some insight into his mind, how can Drillman's attacks be inferred as the acts of an insecure person? Even in the case of bullies overcompensating for their insecurities, their actions can still give themselves away somehow. Not so with Drillman, especially since he hasn't said a word. Yet. Drillman surprisingly responds not just in the affirmative, but with a cultured flair?
The name is Drill Man. But I was born with music in my heart.
What's this now?
I would learn any instrument I could get my hands on. When I had hands. Father never approved. He forced me into the family business. Mining. I agreed to a temporary arrangement, but then the family business was bought by Skyraisers Corporation. And my dreams, along with it, they made me an embarrassment.
Drillman's backstory, while certainly touching, doesn't jive with his motivation of embarrassment, so he can no longer play piano and feels ashamed. Why? Did anyone see that he could no longer play piano? Were there people laughing at him like they were laughing at Aki at school? As a former kid who was obsessed with, quote, not looking stupid, I appreciate what the writers are going for here. I also understand that Aki and Drillman's self-consciousness isn't supposed to be rational. Whether or not someone is actually watching you or laughing at you is irrelevant when you feel like you're an irredeemable klutz or weirdo. Drilling Deep doesn't go far enough, though, to really get us thinking about how Aki and especially Drillman can feel the way they do. So, as I said before, this episode has an okay message, but a weak setup. On the other hand, Videodrone has an okay setup that's marred by a jumbled message. Hypno Woman is a neat addition to the world of Mega Man.
15 years, 2 degrees, my own practice. Silicon Central's first and best school counselor. Yet every day, the same problems, over and over. Hypno Woman, my teacher gave me an F. My secret crush doesn't know I exist. And then it hit me. Why help just one person at a time when I can help all of them?
The ethical nightmare of creating such a robot aside, Hypno Woman's motivation and goal is clear, and her ability to control people is formidable, even if its depiction isn't. Hypnotic emoji. Huh. It's less ridiculous than it seems, since this episode's about spending less time glued to screens and indulging in meaningless distractions. You wouldn't know that, though, until the very end. Videodrome may begin with Suna chiding Aki for playing video games instead of studying, but the issue of excessive screen time is largely absent. Even though Hypno Woman's scheme involves transmitting her glitter bombs into other people's screens, many only fall prey to her hypnosis after their phones go off. That is to say, they weren't obsessed with their devices, they were called to them. That runs counter to the episode's message setup with Aki, and later a scene actually turns his video game obsession into a boon by enabling him to escape the glitter zombies. Worst of all, this episode is kind of boring. Mega Man's skirmishes with Drillman may have been brief and one-sided, but at least they were lively at times. The action in this episode consists of only 2 things: running away from glitter zombies and trading a few shots with Hypno Woman atop a very small platform. Hypno Woman is capable of both flight and mind control, and her glitter bombs appear very versatile. This fight should be way more creative than this. At least these robot master designs look great. Drillman looks like a cross between his classic look and Mega Man and Bass's Groundman. This is kind of fitting since Groundman's real-world creator originally named him Drillman. I guess he missed Mega Man 4. The extra drills and bulk that make up this Drillman look very imposing and add to the hilarity of the Sideshow Bob-like twist. He doesn't appear to wield his signature weapon, the drill bomb, but I can live with that. There are bound to be plenty of other projectile weapons for Mega Man to wield, like the glitter bomb. That Hypno Woman can still leave an overall good impression on me despite this ridiculously distracting weapon really speaks to the strength of her concept. Her humanoid appearance may clash with established robot master designs, both inside and outside of this series, but her role as a school counselor gives the design purpose. She also gives off a Mega Man Battle Network vibe, especially when she engages her wings in hypnotic lights. Now that I think about it, maybe she's also supposed to recall a queen wasp, kinda like the Pokemon Vespiquen. In that case, I guess her glitter bombs being hovering nuisances makes sense. Huh. After being unimpressed by the pixel art in the first 2 episodes, I'm surprised to find myself warming up to it a little. Part of this is due to Drillman's design translating well into this style, but a big part of it is from the usage of Drillman's stage assets. More of this, please. And more retro music callbacks, please. Drillman's theme very briefly plays during his flashback, and that's all we get. Its abruptness does fit with the sudden dashing of his dreams, though. Meanwhile, Hypno Woman's lack of a theme is an odd oversight considering how much effort otherwise went into her conception. Given the treatment Fireman's theme received in the first 2 episodes, I expect much more from this show's music.
In that case...
Big mistake, Blaze Face!
Is this the world you envisioned for us all?
Similarly, I don't think Drilling Deep and Videodrone live up to this show's potential. Their strong and weak points match each other to result in 2 average episodes. My hope for the series, however, remains intact. Next time on Mega Man Fully Charged, a certain soggy robot makes waves in Silicon City, and Fireman returns as a newly inflamed being.
You mean enlightened?
Hey there! I'm so happy to finally get back to talking about this series. If you're looking for more of my thoughts on Mega Man, check out my review of the first 2 episodes of Fully Charged. Alternatively, I have a whole series of quick videos on Mega Man 1 through 10. See you soon.